Alright, so this is the truth behind why Toni Storm left the WWE. Now, I remember about 2 or 3 years ago, I was on YouTube. Every day, people were just hyping up this chick named Toni Storm. I'd never seen her before. I never heard of her. But everybody was talking about her, hyping her up. She's this, she's that. She's the future. She's this, she's that. Every fucking week, these dudes were just hyping her up every fucking day. So I heard she wrestled for NXT UK. So I decided to watch a match of her on pay-per-view. So it was a match between her and Rhea Ripley. Now, this was back when I was a very, very casual viewer of that show. Like, I never watched it really. And I didn't know who Rhea was. But the only reason I watched the show was because I wanted to know who the fuck was this Toni Storm chick. So I was watching the video package before the match to see who these girls were. So this was the first time I ever saw Rhea. So I sit here, I'm like, hold on. Who is this chick? I'm like, hold on now. Fuck this Storm chick. Who the fuck is the other girl? That chick looks like a fucking star. Who is she? She was tall, she had presence, she had size, she had a great look. See, back then, Rhea had a great look. Because Rhea looked very woman-like. She looked very feminine back then. See, now it's different now. Now it's different, obviously. But back then, she looked like a real feminine lady. Like, she had a great fucking look. So I'm like, hold on now. How come nobody's talking about this chick? How come every dude's hyping about this damn Storm chick? I'm like, what is the big deal? So I watched the match, and dude, Rhea, she looked better. Rhea Ripley, she looked better. She wrestled better. She had better presence. Her stuff looked clean. She was the better wrestler in that match. So I'm watching the match. I'm like, man, I'm not seeing what everybody else is seeing in this Toni Storm chick. Cause I'm like, if she was on the main roster, she wouldn't do good. But Rhea, I'm like, this Rhea chick, she looks like something. She could be a main star on the fucking main roster. I'm like, yeah, she has it. So when she was in that version of NXT UK, she was very hot and cold. She wasn't that over on that show. She was like a on and off star on that show. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was there all the time. She was like an on and off star because she was battling mental health issues based on the fact that, it's one of the main reasons she's no longer on Twitter, because she has mental health issues based on the fact that she has creepy ass fans, and one of them actually hacked her page and leaked naked nude photos and videos of her. That really got to her. So that's why she was like on and off on the show, because that really affected her mind. That's why she has returned to Twitter ever since. But the point is, because of that fact, the fact that she was always on and off TV, she was hot and cold, she kind of lost a connection with the audience. Because you can't do the hokey pokey when it comes to wrestling. It's either you're in or you can't keep going back, coming back. You're off TV. You're on TV. You can't do it. That's why Rhea Ripley leapfrogged her. Now it's funny. See, I was a fan of Rhea before Jim Cornette. And I think Rhea actually lost that match too. Not sure. I think she lost it. But months later, Rhea gets called up to the main NXT. Now, this was back when they had crowds there. So, she got over from an organic rise. See, she wasn't meant to be this mega star when she got called up to the main NXT. Her ass got over because she had presence and her ass had a great look. She was a badass. So she got over. She became a fucking star. She got pushed hard as fuck because the fans loved her. Because she was different. So months later, she gets called up to Raw, right? So after that, Toni gets called up to the main NXT. But I think she was called up during the pandemic, which was a bad thing. So her ass got called up to the main NXT, and this is when they had no crowd, so we couldn't tell if she was over or she was not over. But the matter is, she had to compete with Rhea. People thought she was going to be the next Rhea. Rhea, she set the bar high for Toni Storm. And Toni Storm, she never reached that level. Because the audience, they didn't know who she was. They didn't get her. See, it took me 3 years to find out what the fuck is her gimmick. What is her character? I didn't know what her character was until her ass got the fucking SmackDown. And fucking Pat McAfee told us what her character is. Her character was a girl who was a fan of rock and roll in the 80s. Bruh. Toni Storm was born in the late 90s. So why would her gimmick be based on being a fan of 80s rock and roll? I'm like, girl, you wasn't born in the 80s. Like, how was that a gimmick? Now I gotta be honest. When I first seen Toni Storm, I didn't know what her gimmick was. But I noticed she had some kind of football eye patch under her eyes and shit, right? So I figured, okay, maybe her gimmick is a lingerie cosplay football player or something. Seriously, I thought that was her gimmick. Then I found out, no, her gimmick is a girl who's a fan of rock from the 80s. I'm like, okay, how is that gonna resonate to the main roster? Because the average adult her age don't give a flying fuck about rock and roll from the 80s. They don't care about Joan Jett or those like they don't care about that kind of shit. So how is she gonna resonate? What is her gimmick? What is her character? Nobody cares about that. Okay, you're a fan of 80s rock, even though you wasn't even born in that era. So how can you relate to that era if you wasn't even born then? Her ass wasn't even a fucking thought. Her ass didn't exist in the 80s. So what is her character? How can you as a kid relate to that? Seriously, how can a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old relate to her character if her character is based on rock and roll from the 80s? Like, huh? You was born in the late 90s, so how are you a fan of that era? Like, huh? How is that a gimmick? How is that a character? Nobody, that's not gonna resonate. But the point I'm trying to make is, when she got called up to the USA NXT, man, like she failed. People always want to blame the main roster for everything that fails, right? People say, oh yeah, blame the main roster. They didn't book her right. Nah, bruh. She has been a failure since she left NXT UK. And the fact of the matter is, her ass was not even that over in NXT UK. You know what I'm saying? So when she was called up to the regular NXT, like, bruh, she didn't live up to expectations. Actually, she might go down as the most underwhelming, most overrated wrestler in NXT history. Because she didn't live up to the hype. She was all hype. She is a product of the IWC perverts, who the only reason y'all loved her because because she had a big ass. That's it. That's the only reason y'all loved her, because she had a big ass. Because she has no character, no gimmick, no nothing. She can't talk. Look, she reminds me of a female Johnny Gargano. That's what she is. But hell, even Johnny can talk. Her ass can't talk. I've never heard a great promo from Toni Storm. So she gets called up to the regular NXT and she fails. She fails to get over, to the point where they had to turn her to a heel because nobody cared about her as a face, which is shocking because she's better as a face. So they turned her heel, right? See, this was okay. She had a match with a jobber, right? This was when they turned her heel. She had a match with a jobber. It was a chick from Reality of Wrestling that they signed, right? So, guess what? She got beat. Toni Storm got beat by a rookie jobber who was an enhancement talent from Booker T's wrestling school. So I'm like, whoa, that's shocking. Triple H would have never done that to Shayna, Asuka, fucking Bianca, Rhea. So how was Toni Storm a star? See, one thing that always makes me pissed off is people always say, oh, Toni got buried because she was a product of Triple H. No, she was not. People keep saying she was a Triple H girl. No, she was not. She was not a Triple H girl. You know why? Because Triple H did not run NXT UK. That was Shawn Michaels. That's Shawn Michaels' show. So Toni is called up to the regular NXT. She did nothing. Hell, I think she lost more matches than she won. So she got beat by a jobber. She lost multiple matches. So how is she a Triple H girl? Huh? Are you serious? When Triple H is a fan of you, he gives you a push like fucking Karrion Kross. Okay? If he likes you, he gives you a push like he did Rhea Ripley. Toni Storm lost multiple matches. Bruh. In the regular NXT, she wasn't booked any better than she was on fucking SmackDown. So the seeds were planted on her eventually leaving that company. It wasn't how she was booked on SmackDown. You serious? She's been a failure since she left NXT UK. It's like people thought she was going to get the red carpet treatment like Rhea Ripley when she left the fucking UK. And no, dude, she's not on her level. She's not Rhea Ripley. She never was. Seriously, she was never Rhea Ripley. See, that's the problem with some of you UK wrestling fans. You hold too much weight on people's wrestling skills. That's all you care about is the fucking work rate. That's all you care about is Walter, Imperium, Pete Dunne, dudes like that. That's all you care about is how good a guy is in a fucking ring. Oh, she's great in the ring, so she's a star. She's this, she's that. Oh, Tyler Bate is so good. Like, bruh, look, this is the United States of America, man. We different out here. We are built different out here, man. When it comes to the United States, bruh, you need more than work rate to impress us. Ask Becky Lynch. Because even Becky Lynch said she doesn't want to be known for her work rate. She wants to be known for more than that. See, this is America. When it comes to the fucking UK, all y'all care about is wrestling, work rate, this and that. Oh, Walter's so good. He's a damn near technician in the ring. Dude, nobody cares about that. When it comes to the US, nobody cares about that. We care about more than that, bro. See, when people think about Toni Storm, they think about a chick who's good in the ring. But what else is she good at? Her ass can't talk. She's bad as a heel. She's an average face. She doesn't have tons of charisma. Where is her charisma? She has no charisma, man. Now, this is another telling sign that I'm like, okay, Toni Storm, yeah, this ain't gonna end well. There was an interview of Charlotte Flair. It was for some kind of podcast or some shit. And she said that she was putting over Rhea and what's her name? Bianca, right? She was saying how those two girls are the future of the company. She didn't say nothing about Toni Storm. That's a very telling sign. Very telling sign, because Charlotte Flair went on to work with Toni Storm down the fucking line. That was a bad sign. The fact that Charlotte said Rhea and Bianca are the future. She didn't say nothing about Toni Storm. Now listen, all you Storm fans, what do you see in her besides her big ass? Seriously. Because when I see her, that's all I notice is her ass. But other than that, she's not too spectacular. Like, when I first seen her, I'm like, I can't see her being the next Sasha Banks. I can't see her being Bliss or Bayley. It's like, what is she? Like, she has no character. Being a fan of 80s rock, that's not a character, people. It's not. It's not a fucking... What is a character? Because I thought her character was a fucking football lingerie player. Seriously. I don't know what she is. But you can't say she was buried on the main roster because, bruh, she was buried in NXT. So, which one is it? Who are you going to blame here? It's like, bruh, she left because, bruh, there's nothing for her. Look, she is a girl from the UK, right? Look, she didn't resonate with the US audience. She didn't. She's not Rhea Ripley. And look, like I said, when I first saw Rhea Ripley in NXT UK, she had a match with Toni Storm, man, and I'm like, man, who is that chick? She's gonna be a fucking star. Who is she? Now look at her. She went on to be a tag champion. She went on to win the title. She went on to beat Shayna Baszler for the title. She went on to beat Asuka at fucking WrestleMania. She has had 2 WrestleMania matches within the past 2 years now. Which means she proved me right. That yes, Rhea was the real star and not Storm. Storm is a product of the IWC. She was all hype, no substance. All she had was work rate. It's like, yeah, she's a good looking girl. Yeah, she's pretty, but what else? She can't talk. No character, no gimmick. What is she? It's like, look, the fact is, you gotta blame some of her fanboy podcasters as well. Especially the ones who got a big, large platform, and here's why. This chick is a very sensitive girl. She's very sensitive, right? Everybody was making fun of her because her ass got pie in the face by Charlotte, right? People were making fun of her, saying, oh, she's buried. Her face looks like... People were saying the most dumbest shit. Telling her, saying, oh, that pie face segment looked like a damn Pornhub fucking thumbnail. I'm like, come on, bro. Why would you say that? You know her fans are gonna tell her that. She doesn't want to hear that shit. The fact that she had a nude photo video leaked a couple of years back, bruh, she doesn't want to hear anything about you saying her being pie in the face looked like a Pornhub video. Are you serious? Bruh, obviously she heard about that. Come on, man, she hears about trolls saying that bullshit to her. So each week she felt embarrassed facing Charlotte Flair because people couldn't let go of her being pie in the face. And I'm like, bruh, who cares about being pie in the fucking face? I've seen worse than that. It's like people act like that was the most humiliating thing in WWE history. Her being pie in the fucking face. Like, dude, grow up. It's fucking wrestling. Who cares about getting pie in the fucking face, bruh? Kurt Angle drove a fucking milk truck and sprayed dudes with fucking milk. It's the WWE. That's what they do. It's entertainment, people. Stop taking it so fucking seriously. Like, bro, like, people were saying the dumbest shit. Dudes made such a big deal out of that segment. Oh, wow. Storm got pie in the face. She's buried now. No, you thought that. And it kind of influenced her to think that. Because she's very sensitive. People were probably telling her that shit in her comment section on fucking IG probably. Like, oh, you look like a fucking Pornhub thumbnail. How the way you was pie in the face. I'm like, that's childish, bro. Why would you say that bullshit, bro? Get your mind out of the fucking gutter. It's like there was so much leading up to her asking for release, man. Because the fans made her feel bad about being pied in the fucking face. The fans embarrassed her online, on social media, because you guys blew that pie segment out of proportion. It made her feel bad. It made her feel embarrassed. But the fact of the matter is, dude, her run in the company was like, she was hot and cold. Dude, she's been a failure since she left NXT UK. Because Rhea Ripley, she set the bar high for girls from the UK. She set it high to the point where Toni Storm, she couldn't reach it. She couldn't reach it. That's why she lost multiple matches in the regular NXT. because she couldn't live up to expectations. The crowd couldn't really feel her. The crowd didn't know who she was. The crowd didn't see her as the next Rhea Ripley. She didn't resonate on the main roster, and she didn't resonate in the regular NXT, which means she doesn't really resonate when it comes to United States wrestling. It's like, yeah, in the UK, they like her because she's good in the ring, but that's all. Rhea Ripley, she leapfrogged her. Rhea went from an unknown girl to leapfrogging Toni Storm. Because I didn't know who the fuck she was when I seen that first match with her and Storm, but she caught my eye. She caught my eye like nobody else. Everybody else was sucking the dick of Toni Storm, but not me. I kept my eye on fucking Rhea Ripley, and now look where she at. She has been a multiple time champion since leaving NXT UK. So which means I got a good eye for talent. And I never got the hype about Toni Storm. It's like she got leapfrogged and overshadowed by everybody. And the fact of the matter is, and look, she is not a Triple H girl. If she was, she would have never gotten called up to the main roster that early. Because she did nothing in NXT. Nothing. She lost multiple matches. She got upset by a goddamn jobber. A damn rookie who got released months later. She did nothing. And yet, she was called up. I felt like she wasn't ready to be called up. I felt like, hold on, she got more to do down there in fucking NXT. But no, man, she failed. The crowd gave zero fucks. She was definitely no Rhea Ripley. She couldn't get over. She failed as a face. She failed as a heel. Her promos were boring. She had no character. No gimmick. I know what she was. A damn chick who's a fan of 80s rock. Come on, bruh. That ain't gonna resonate with nobody. So, how is she a Triple H product? How can you say she was buried on the main roster because she's a product of Triple H? How? Triple H did not push her in his version of NXT. Just face it, man. Toni Storm, she's not that good. She won 0 championships in NXT. Right? That's saying something. She got caught up to the regular NXT and she did shit. But Rhea Ripley, she leapfrogged her ass. You know what I'm saying? So, look, stop blaming the main roster for your favorite wrestlers' failures. How about you blame the talent? I'm sorry. Like, bruh, so which one is it? She was booked like shit in the regular NXT. She was booked like shit on the main roster. So, come on now. Which means, shouldn't she take some kind of responsibility? Something ain't right. And look, man, she had, about 2 matches with Charlotte Flair, and both were not good. And I'm like, you know what? This girl's days are numbered. Because if she can have a good match with a fucking Charlotte Flair, yeah, man, it's not going to be good for her future. So look, but that's one of the main reasons why she's gone, man. If you can't have a good match with Charlotte Flair, that main roster audience is not going to be fond of you. Because they had sloppy matches, man. They had no chemistry. And then Charlotte, she's a top girl. So I'm like, damn, if you can't have a good match with a top girl, I'm like, man, it's not gonna be good for your future. But Khan's been a fucking top girl in that company. So I said, man, I'm done.